Have mercy. Your brother from the gutters, Slick One, is back behind the wood for the open bar on a victorious... Yes! A victorious Monday in the city with no pity. That's right. The Bills beat the Cardinals yesterday at Highmark Stadium. It was not easy, okay? But they pulled it off. They dealt with adversity. They came back from behind, which is always good to see with a young team. A lot of new faces, a lot of new starters. They dealt with adversity. They were down, 17-3 at one point. The first half sucked. They sucked on offense in the first half. They sucked on defense. The second half, it was a tale of two halves. They turned it around. What can you say? And Mr. Overrated, by the way, Josh Allen had a pretty awesome game. I mean, for Josh Allen, I mean, it's just business as usual. Mr. Overrated had a pretty damn good game yesterday. Was responsible for 4 TDs, 2 rushing, and 2 through the air. Actually would have had 3 rushing TDs. The one in the first quarter, if you remember, was called back. Osiris Torrance had a face mask, holding on the face mask, and they had to bring it back, or he would have had 5 touchdowns. Just another day at the office for Josh Allen. What can you say? The guy, he puts on the cape when he has to, and he pulls it off. He puts the game on his back. Listen, overrated? Come on. What are you, nuts? If you want to say that the guy from Kansas City, Mahomes, if you want to say that he's better, okay, he's got the rings to prove it, but Josh Allen ain't no slouch. And Josh Allen, I know people were cheering, or they were shouting MVP when he dove into the end zone on that one rushing play where he catapulted himself into the air. And, just superhuman type of stuff. And then the other one where he ran around the edge was great, too. He had the 2 touchdown passes, one to Mac Hollins, and then the other one to Shakir. And is Shakir fun to watch or what? I mean, this kid, every time he gets the ball in his hands, he makes shit happen. I mean, people are bouncing off him like a pinball machine. You thought he was going to go down, but no, he runs off. He takes off for another 10, 15 yards. He had that one nice long catch, and then he had the touchdown where I think it was Deion Dawkins flattened it, dude, and he ran in for that. Just barely got into the end zone with a supreme effort. Shakir, they got to get this guy involved in the game more. He is just awesome. I thought Cook had a decent game. Even Davis had a nice tough run there, the rookie, and he spread the ball around. 9 different people had catches yesterday, and that's kind of the way this new offense is going to be. What's the mantra? What's their slogan? Everybody eats. That's right. Everybody eats. We spread it around. Now, shockingly, Dalton Kincaid only had 1 catch. Evidently, the Cardinals had a game plan where they were doubling him and, trying to keep him out of the game, and they did a pretty decent job. So Josh just spread it around and hit whoever was open, which it works. It works. Whoever's open, Knox had a catch. Like I said, 9 different people. Cook, Davis, Mac Hollins, Shakir, the rookie Keon Coleman had a nice catch down the sideline, a nice grab, kept himself in bounds. That was a big gainer. That was in the fourth quarter, I think, just before Josh ran it in for the touchdown. And listen, it's the first game of the season, which is always kind of wacky. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a box of chocolates. The first game of the season, right? Look at some of the games yesterday. The Patriots upset the Bengals. Miami, of course, knocked off. Who did they knock off? Jacksonville, field goal in the last minute. So, unless you're the Carolina Panthers who got their ass stomped, most of these games are pretty tight at this point. And teams are just trying to feel themselves out, trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, that kind of a thing. But both the offense and defense really turned it around in the second half. It was a tale of 2 halves. Defensively, they held the Cardinals to 3 yards average, 3.3 yards average in the second half. In the first half, they were giving up 5 point whatever yards per play. So they clamped down there in the second half. Greg Rousseau was the star with what did he have? 3 sacks. And you got to give props to former UB Bull Cam Lewis, who was our backup for Teron Johnson, our Pro Bowl nickel safety, nickel corner, I should say. He's the prime backup for that. He also is a backup at safety. He's like a Swiss Army knife, and he stepped in there for Teron Johnson, who's a great player, and we didn't miss a step. So some good depth there in the secondary, especially at cornerback. Safety is a little unsettled right now, as we all know. But you got to give it up for Cam Lewis. He stepped in and did an awesome job there. And like I said, they did much better in the second half. And how about that kid they got from the Jets that returned, the one they traded for to do kickoff returns? He had a nice return as well. Brandon Cordrington, I believe is his name. Yeah. So now it is off to Miami, to steamy South Florida to visit our old friend Jordan Poyer, and as we attempt to squish the fish. And this will be a tough game. This is not going to be easy, and they can't dick around waiting for the second half to show up. They're going to have to, be good right out of the start of the game against Miami. And they have got, what's his name back, Jalen Phillips, the defensive end who's really good. Blew out his Achilles last year. He went to college with Greg Rousseau. He was the other defensive end besides Rousseau at Miami. They were there at the same time, and Miami drafted this kid, Jalen Phillips. We drafted Rousseau, who I think is going to have a breakout year this year. So great victory. I'm happy. They pulled it off, and the Jets, Miami is next Thursday night. Can't wait for that. And, of course, tomorrow is the big debate. Tuesday, it's Kamala Harris versus Don the Con, right? And he's already making excuses, saying the ABC is not going to be fair to him and whatnot. But it's tough to debate somebody like Trump because every word out of his mouth is a lie. So he takes you out of your game because he's, if you stand there fact-checking him, you'll never talk about what you want to do for the country. So I would just A, either laugh at him, or B, just when he tells a lie, just say, yeah, and the Titanic had a small leak. That's all you do. That's how you handle this clown. All right, that's all I got for now. Listen, don't forget we are streaming on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and, of course, on our original home base, Podbean. You can get Slick's Open Bar. Until next time, live fast, die old, remain calm, circle the wagons, go Bills, squish the fish. And, of course, last but not least, weed, whiskey, and Warren Zevon. Peace out. Go Bills.